You cannot take decision because my friend is doing or because my friend is not doing. In fact, I'll tell you something. When I was taking my class 12 exams, there was something called admit card and a registration card for class 12 boards. I'm from an ISC board. We used to have that. Now, registration card we received, but admit card we did not receive. Now, CS Foundation registrations. I was pretty clear during class 12 itself that I want to start with CACS because there is accounts, tax, cost, law, etc. And then I'll see how I want to proceed. Luckily, I found finance to be my calling once I was studying for CA Inter. From then, I've just been studying finance and nothing else. Now, when I'm looking at, I'm talking about before class 12 boards. So during that month of September, CS last date of registration is there. Now I go to the CS Institute. I don't think at that point of time, we did not have so much of online application and all that. You had to go to the institute in your city and then you had to fill in those draft and fill in those forms and everything and submit. I was arguing with the person that I don't have an admit card. How do I register? And as per eligibility, one can take the exam after your class 12 is over. So if I can take the exam after class 12, but the deadline is September and you can't register without admit card. I don't know if the same situation exists now or what is the eligibility requirement, etc. But at that point of time, this was the case. And I argued and I said that, okay, you register with the registration card. If there is a problem, I will see to it. And that time the fees was 3,000 rupees, which was relatively affordable to lose. Of course, it was a good amount of money, but still it was something that is fine in case there is a problem. I forced and I got the registration done. A friend of mine also did that. And then what happened, I got a mail from the institute, courier, not email, that if you submit the admit card by 31st of March, a copy of admit card, you are eligible to take the exam, otherwise you're not. Now, obviously, till March 31st, my exam will be over. I can submit an original copy also of the admit card. I don't even need to submit a copy. I can give you the original also. Because 31st March, so the board exam is over. Admit card was, I think we received admit cards in January. And I was able to send that to the institute via courier. And I was able to take the exam in June. That friend of mine backed out. So I was the only one who took exam in June. In the entire college, nobody else took CS Foundation at that point of time. I had my CA and CS Foundation together along with class 12. And before class 12 boards, I remember we used to have something called postals we had to write for CS. So the idea was that there will be some sample question papers. You have to solve those and submit it to the institute. It was mandatory. And before board exams, I'm sitting at night at home and I'm writing those answers and everything, which mostly people used to copy. But I had to do it myself because I did not know anybody else who was taking CS Foundation at that point of time. I had to do those properly myself before the board exams. I could have very easily said that I'm not going to do it. None of my friends are studying. None of my friends are doing it at that point of time. Why do I need to hurry up in terms of taking the exam 6 months before? But I always had it in my mind that I want to do things a little faster. I want to start earning as soon as possible. So you have your family situation, etc. that you need to evaluate. And accordingly, so I had in my mind that I want to complete my education and as much as possible in the shortest span of time so that I can start earning. So that was the idea. And anyways, I've always wanted to use my time well. I would not study the entire year for school, but I would make sure that I'm doing maths and accounts the whole year. And before the exam, I will take like a week or two off from school and I would study all the other subjects at a stretch. So that is how I used to do during school. So always have that long-term picture in mind. Don't bother about what your friends are doing or not doing. Most of the people around me would not be willing to participate in fests and events and all until the third year. But I would audition from the very first year itself. In fact, in the first year, I think we went to a finance fest in Bangalore in a college. I think that was also one of the reasons. I mean, I really enjoyed the rounds and everything, mock stock round, and I got inclined towards finance. And of course, you cannot take decisions based on what your cousins are doing because everybody's got a different situation, different inclination, different liking. So you can't do that. Never go for what is easy. I've already told you this because otherwise you'll make a very long-term mistake. You will regret 5 years, 3 years down the line that I did XYZ and it is not even worth it. Because if something is easy, see, suppose you go for a summer school and you put that on your resume. Everybody knows that anybody whose daddy has got a little bit of money can go to a summer school and it is fine. But if you're going for it, don't think that I'm getting an XYZ college on my resume, because anybody who's recruiting also understands that this is just a 1 month or a 20-day time pass you have done. You've traveled, you've enjoyed yourself. You might have been groomed a little bit because you're traveling alone and meeting new people and all. But academically, there is no value addition that you have done. So we understand that. Don't think that I'm going to be fooling anybody by doing XYZ. Don't go for those easier options and all. Whether there is an exam or not, whether there is a qualification criteria, how difficult or how valuable or credible that is, you have to evaluate those things. Don't take those short-term decisions because you're not fooling anybody. You might be fooling your friends for a very short period of time, but you're not fooling anybody in the long term because everybody knows what is what. And you have to be comfortable with a lot of trade-offs. Because what happens is you cannot do everything. Of course, I was trying to push myself as much as possible to do as much as possible. And I wanted to participate in all the college events. But the idea is there is always going to be trade-offs. In the sense that most of the exams are scheduled in the month of May, June and November, December. For 3 years, there is Diwali, there is Bhai Dooj, there are a lot of meetings, family meets and all happening. And I'm out of those. And even if somebody has to pull off a sarcastic tone towards me that, suppose if I'm attending an event, how come you're here today? So I'm like, yeah, because I had some time. That's why I'm here. I'm okay giving that kind of an answer back to people. But at times I see students are not comfortable doing that. And at times they want to be everywhere, but that is not possible. There is a certain time frame where you have to be very comfortable being left out of a lot of things. Because right now is the time that you're building your career. There is going to be trade-offs. And you have a group of friends, like you have building friends, you have tuition friends, you have college friends, you have college tuition friends. I mean, all sorts of groups here and there. But it's not possible to maintain all that level of socializing because in college, there are just too many fragments you have. Because there's a college group, there is a college classroom, because you have different classes. So I had that. And then tuition friends were separate. It's not possible to be everywhere and be available at all points of time. So there is going to be a lot of trade-offs and you have to be comfortable because every 6 months you're going to be having some exam or the other. And I was having almost 3 exams, 1 college semester plus 2 more exams every 6 months. But I wanted it that way. So you have to be okay saying no to a lot of other things. If you're not comfortable doing that, you'll have a problem. So think about it.